How are you? Welcome. Not a long program today. First of all, I'm playing a video game. I'm playing Madden video because Madden football mobile because today's the draft. So I'm gonna pay a little attention to that. I got to go to an important meeting coming up a little bit, but I did want to talk to you. There's a lot of things going on. I have a very, very heavy heart today because of things that have happened in our country. But until then, and I get to that, I want you to check in, if you would please. Let me know who you are and where you're deplorable from. Just check in. Just type in your name, okay? And I'll try to say hi to you. Like I said, this is going to be a short show, but I want to make sure that you are said hello to. Like Jackie's there. Hey, Jackie. Glenda's there. Eve is checking in. Randy's there. Debbie's there. What are you doing? All right, I want to get to it. I'm so... Jeanette's there. Hi, Jeanette. And Marilyn is in Pennsylvania, and Shelley's there. She's in East Tennessee, deplorable. I am Shanghai, Darrell, Tennessee. I am so disappointed and disgusted with our elected officials. I've been sick all day. I've been absolutely sick to my stomach all day long. I do want to tell you, first of all, I want to thank the nice folks at Right Wing News for letting me be here. Also, the great folks at Liberty One TV. If you have not gone to liberty1tv.com and subscribed, you really should. Also, the nice people at the HearMeOut app. Would you please download that app and follow me and listen to my my rantings and ravings? And it's a lot of fun, and you could do it too. Doesn't cost you anything, and I would really appreciate it, and it would mean a lot to me, and it's a great backup with what is going on in the social media world. So the Hear Me Out app, you just download it right on your phone from either the Apple Store or Google Play. And then we also have a brand new sponsor that is so important in this time of security breaches, and that is Virtual Shield VPN. If you don't know what a Virtual Shield or a VPN is, go to virtualshield.com/Rusty. Find out all about it. It is important to have. And if you have a business, they've got business versions of it too. And if you use the promo code Rusty, you get 20% off and the first month for free, okay? Diamond and Silk are friends of mine. I mean, I wouldn't say that we're best, but I haven't been to their houses. I at one point was trying to hire them to work for me on a radio show. And we got kind of close, and then managers got involved, and they blew it for them, which is too bad because they probably would have done a good job on the radio. They are sweet women who are not very business savvy. And I don't think I'm speaking out of school here. They were put into the limelight in Congress today, and they were put under some very serious pressure. But what was so disappointing, so disgusting, was I would think everybody from Democrat to Republican would say, hey, the silencing of free speech is wrong. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're out there and you're Rachel Maddow or you're the Daily Kos, Huffington Post, Rusty Humphries, Rush Limbaugh, Diamond and Silk. It doesn't matter. We all have a right to be heard. And the difference with Facebook was if people knew who you were, they could hit like and subscribe to you. And then the other thing was Facebook did a thing where you could buy advertising and get your name out to more people. And then you had a choice on whether or not you wanted to click like, and you had a choice on whether or not you wanted to listen to what we had to say. You weren't forced upon you. It may have been forced on your news feed, but you scroll right past that, right? And to see disgusting congressmen making this about politics and trying to embarrass these young ladies. Now, nobody is more embarrassing to the United States of America than Hank Johnson. Hank Johnson, he's the dumbass, and I will say he is a dumbass. This dumbass was the one that was in Congress, and he was talking, there was a hearing on Guam, and that Guam was getting overpopulated. And this dumbass says, well, isn't it true that, Admiral, that if more people get on Guam, that island is just going to tip over? And the Admiral's like, tip over? Yes, the island would tip over, right? No. And for some reason in Georgia, they still think that this guy should be reelected. Now, I want you to watch this embarrassing moment of Hank Johnson trying to embarrass Diamond and Silk, not doing a good job. But really, it's not even just that it's embarrassing. It's that it's horrible for our republic. It really is bad. It really is so hyper-partisan that honestly, I've been sick to my stomach all day, and I'm not exaggerating. Here we go.
Facebook by the Russians to help Donald Trump get elected.
Okay, what?
Okay,
now everything got messed up. It was the Russians. Let me fix it. It was the Russians that just messed me up. Okay, come on. All right, let's go back. And again, I don't know who writes this stuff for this moron, but he starts right off with the Russians and just baloney. Here we go.
Manipulation of Facebook by the Russians to help Donald Trump get elected. We could be looking into the Russian interference with the presidential election. We could be looking at Russian hacking into state election processes. We could be talking about in this committee legislation to protect the Mueller investigation. None of those areas has this committee been involved with.
And by the way, so I mean every single thing he's talking about is as far left wing as it can be. But by the way, as a United States Congressman, don't you think you should shave? How about shaving your neck? Huh? Is that hard? I mean, maybe he needs somebody to wipe his ass for him, too. I don't know. And excuse my language, but I've been just disgusted by this lack of class human being today. Let me continue. Here we go.
During the last 15 months that we've been in session, we could be talking about gun control. We could be talking about the DREAM Act in this committee. No hearings whatsoever.
Good.
But what we are dealing with today, we're giving a platform to Diamond and Silk. And you ladies are very impressive to me. You have taken something and you have moved forward with it, exercising your First Amendment rights. And you've made a ton of money off of Facebook. Isn't that correct?
Now, I'm going to let them comment in just a second. But, I guess the first answer, and this is what I would have said if I was them. So what, do you want us just to be back on the plantation, Congressman? I mean, you're from Georgia. You're from a state that specialized in slavery. Is that what you want for us strong African-American women? We should just be on government handouts. We can't make a living. We invested in Facebook and we paid their extraordinary rates for advertising, and then they changed the rules, and that's not good enough for you? The silencing of free speech isn't something that's important. No, you want to go back to the same old tired, overrun, idiotic talking points that the Democrats have been doing for 20 years. But the idea that two women, and again, I'm not an African-American woman, but it has affected my life. It has affected a lot of companies that I know personally. It has destroyed, it has been devastating to conservative news, and I'll get back to them in just a second. But the news story is, it's not Diamond and Silk, although they're a part of it. And it's not just about Facebook and Google and YouTube. The story is about the silencing and the destruction of conservative viewpoints online. Because when they cannot make money, when you can't feed your family, well, haven't you made a bunch of money? So damn what? They got to feed their families, don't they? Or do you want them working at McDonald's? Is that the only thing good? That or just being on the welfare? When you can't feed your family, you have to do something else. And these companies are folding almost every week, every day, another conservative news outlet, maybe not as big as you're used to, but another conservative outlet has folded. And these people are out of work. And soon, when Facebook loosens up everything, they won't be able to come back. That's the story. All right, let me continue with Horrible Hank here on the Rusty Humphries Rebellion.
Absolutely not, because Facebook censored us for
Donald
6
Trump,
months.
Now, Donald Trump introduced you all at a rally last year.
So?
And he introduced y'all saying that you were very popular and you had made a ton of money based on your affiliation with him. Isn't that correct?
Let me tell you what he was doing.
Yes,
He was calling those things that was not as though they were, is what he was doing then. But let me tell you something.
But he has given you
But Facebook censored us for 6 months.
Hold on one second, ma'am. The point I'm trying to make is you all have been bashing Facebook and you've been making a ton of money. Isn't that correct?
Used to.
No.
Excuse me,
No.
And what's your and what is your
unsafe to the community?
You've not been making a ton of money based on your
Ton
of money?
of Facebook?
No. We didn't bash Facebook. What we
have
did
you
was
been
we brought
making
it to
a ton
the
of money?
light on how Facebook has been censoring conservative voices like ourselves for 6 months, 29 days, 5 hours, 43 minutes, and 40 seconds. That's what they did.
Now, I can tell you something.
Have you been making money? Have you been monetizing?
So what,
They won't let
dumbass?
us monetize on Facebook.
So you
They
haven't
stopped it for 6 months, 29 days.
So they've been
Dumbass.
messing with your money then.
Yeah, dumbass.
Exactly. That's exactly.
They got to feed their families,
They
dumbass.
did, and YouTube did also by demonetizing 95% of our videos for no reason at all,
But you
deeming it
still-
as hate speech.
but you still
However,
selling-
allow me to say
Still
that with
selling
them,
merchandise on the.
Well, even if we sell merchandise, that don't have anything to do with Facebook. Facebook censored our free speech. And shame on the ones that don't even see that we have been censored. Yet, when the Black Lives Matter people complain about it, oh, everybody is up in arms. Let me just say this here. If the shoe was on the other foot and Mark Zuckerberg was a conservative and we were liberals, oh, all fences and all chains would have broke loose. You know it and I know it. But what I find appalling is that these Democrats, they don't want to take up for our voice.
Democrats would be in the street. Democrats would be in the street
Okay,
right now
I'd like
marching and
I'd like
calling
to
him
give
all
you a-
type of racists.
I'd like to
That's
give
what
you a
would
little
be
bit
doing
more
right now.
time. I'd like
Yeah.
to give you a little bit more time, but I got to move on. I only got a minute left.
Okay.
But I appreciate you all for your entrepreneurial spirit.
That's
and we're
part of them.
and we're
Okay, hold on a
giving
second.
you
And we
Listen,
wanna attain
listen how condescending he is. And again, this is one of the dumbest members in the history of the House of Representatives. Okay, Hank John, one of the, and that's not just me being exaggerate. That's not me exaggerating. That's just fact. Horrible Hank Johnson is one of the dumbest human beings to ever be in the United States Congress. And that's saying something. That's quite an honor. That's a distinction. But listen to how condescending he is to these nice women. Here we go.
And we're giving you a tremendous platform with this hearing to make a ton of money when it's over.
That's right. And I hope everybody on Facebook can follow us.
And like, yes, that's right. That's right.
And they
Because
can-
that's what it's supposed to be about.
what it's
It's
supposed
supposed to be about obtaining the American dream. We are African-American women.
That's
If
right.
illegal aliens can come over here and build businesses, why can't we?
Why
And we
can't
were
we?
born on this soil. Oh, you don't have a right to silence my voice.
Well, now
You absolutely not.
I've always heard though that diamonds are a girl's best.
They are, and they hard too. And if I got to be hard and be firm with you, I will. You're not going to brush us off and dismiss us.
No, you're not.
Like we don't have merit here.
But
These people censors us for no reason. They put limitations on our page for no reason, and that was wrong.
But rather than diamonds, you're seeking money with Facebook. Isn't that correct?
Well, you know what? If Facebook is a platform for you to make money, then so be it. Everybody else do it.
And don't stop us from making it.
And don't make us feel guilty because we and other people that's built their brand page want to make money. We've spent plenty of money.
All right.
That's right.
Okay. I'm with you on that.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Watch him
just
condescend.
astounded that this committee
Condescending.
would stoop to this level to be positioning you all to make more money.
We really thank the committee for allowing us to the light.
I'm sure
for
they-
little
I'm
voices like us.
I'm sure they
It's little voices like us.
Because it wasn't you. You didn't do it.
Thank
The
you.
time of the gentleman has expired.
Okay.
I think.
And it was very, and I got to tell you, I'm heartbroken. And see, he's trying to make political points. And of course, as a dumbass, he's not going to be able to. But his, I'm trying to bring up the next one here in a second. There we go. His condescension, and whoever wrote his talking points for him, they had to they needed to dumb it down more because he couldn't follow. But it's just shameful that a United States congressman would talk down to two strong African American women like that. Shame on you, Democrats. Shame on you. And here's another one. And again, they trotted out another African American guy to try to embarrass them and try to make them look bad. Here we go. Play the clippy.
Now, the FEC report dated May 12, 2017, states that on November 22nd, 2016, the campaign of Donald J. Trump for President Incorporated paid Diamond and Silk $1,274.94 for field consulting. Are you familiar with that?
By the way, $1,274. I know where he's going, and he's wrong. But $1,274. I mean, seriously, that's all they got. That's what they have. See, it's like all this stuff on Trump that the Democrats are trying to push, right? Well, during his transition, Donald Trump may have done something wrong. Donald Trump hadn't been president before. He didn't know the rules. He wasn't a lifetime politician like you dumbasses. And so maybe he did make a mistake or two. But don't you go, hey, Mr. President, you can't do that. Oh, you can't? Oh, okay. I'm not going to, then fine. I won't do it. Or, and again, they've got an explanation for this, and we'll get to it in a second. So instead of being a jackass, which is what Democrats are, they're donkeys, they're jackasses. Instead of being a jackass, and if you really cared about the answer, which he doesn't, all he's trying to do is embarrass them. But you'd say, so did Trump give you money? No. Well, what's $1,250 for? And the answer they're going to say in a minute is, we were reimbursed for an airline ticket. They wanted us out there. We paid for the ticket, and they paid us back. And that's an issue? Mr. Jeffries, you've never had an airline ticket repaid? Well, then probably nobody has ever wanted to see you. But I'm sure this guy has been paid off many times over. All right, let's continue with this terrible, disgusting display of power trying to destroy the little guy. Shame on them.
We're familiar with that particular lie. We can see that you do look at fake news. What happened is, and what should have happened is, you should have come to our mouths to see what exactly happened before a false narrative was put out there about the $1,274.94. So let me explain right now to you and the world.
Hold on 1 second, because I want to give you the opportunity to explain, which is why I'm asking the question.
No, you don't. You're not.
I'm actually trying to figure out, are you calling this FEC document fake? Well, actually, let me get to the point.
No, we're not calling that fake.
I'll give you an opportunity to respond.
Okay.
I'm just really I'm struggling. I'm really just trying to figure out.
Hold on a second.
Because you have an FEC document.
Hold on. If you're struggling and you can't figure this out, then you are a dumbass. I should start a whole new Jeff Foxworthy thing. If you're so dumb, you can't figure you're struggling to what they're trying to say, you must be a dumbass. I mean, other than trying to think you're so smart and try to trip them up and make them look bad, which they're not doing, you must be a dumbass. All right, let's continue with Jerky Jeffries. Here we go.
That clearly indicates that the two of you were paid for field consulting by the Trump campaign. That's just one document. There may be others that are out here. And presumably, this was a document filed with genuineness and authenticity by the campaign of the president that you so love. And so I'm just trying to figure out.
We understand that this was
is lying here. Is it the Trump campaign?
are.
Or
You're a liar.
Someone not telling
Nobody
Jag off,
is lying.
Jeffries.
However, there may have been a mistake from the Trump campaign whenever they wrote what the $1,274.94 was for. Actually, this was for because we was asked to join the Women for Trump tour back in 2016. And Miss Laura Trump asked that our airline tickets be refunded back to us because we paid for those tickets when we went from New York to Ohio. I have the email right here, which substantiates what happened on September the 11th.
He couldn't care
whenever
less.
Laura Trump wrote to Allen to tell them to reimburse us. So that $1,274.
I appreciate that explanation. So now let me just ask you one final question.
No, it was for a reimbursement.
I understand.
That's right, not field consulting.
I understand.
You've never been paid by the Trump campaign.
I appreciate that, and I'm just trying to figure out whether, consistent with what the president indicated, he urged you to monetize your support for him. And I'm just trying to figure out.
He urged us to monetize our platform. And that's.
By the way, so Rachel Maddow not making any money. Wolf Blitzer not making any money. He's doing it for free. You know, Anderson Cooper, one of the richest guys in the country, doing it for free. Michael Bloomberg, another one of the richest human beings on the planet, he's doing it for free. ABC, NBC, CNN. You know the only ones working for free right now? Donald Trump. And guys like me and Diamond and Silk, because they've done everything they can to try to destroy us and destroy our advertising bases. Which is why, by the way, I keep telling you, would you please download that dang Hear Me Out app and follow me. If you think I'm getting rich doing this, you are nuts. Because the con job that has been perpetrated on conservatives has been downright devastating. And so how can you help? You download the Hear Me Out app. It doesn't cost you a thing. And follow me, Rusty Humphries. That's one way. Number two, go to virtualshield.com. Find out what a VPN is. Get one. Use hashtag Rusty or slash Rusty, promo code Rusty. Let them know that you found out about virtualshield.com on this show. That's how you can help. Go to liberty1tv.com and subscribe. That's how you can help. They have devastated the incomes of almost every concern, and most of them won't tell you that. I know Sean Hannity got $80-something million, or was it $800 million in houses? You know, good for him. Not all of us are in that boat. And I'm not pleading poverty or I'm not crying here on television. I'm just saying that this is serious. And these Democrats, who are supposed to be for the little guy, right? Aren't they always the one for the little guy? It's the rich, powerful Republicans that stand up for big business, right? Isn't that what they always say? virtualshield.com/Rusty. Yes, thank you, Gretchen. And Liberty One TV. And I think it's ONE1. This has been devastating. Ever since Trump got elected, they have devastated conservative media. Devastated. Oh, well, I see a bunch of ads for something on Facebook. Man, they are barely keeping alive. I don't care who they are. Okay? That's the truth. People won't tell you the truth. I'll tell you the truth. Sometimes the truth hurts. That's the truth. So make a difference. Download the Hear Me Out app. Please follow me on there, Rusty Humphries. Please go to virtualshield.com/Rusty. Type in promo code Rusty and get that thing for free for 30 days. It's not going to cost you anything. Sign up for Liberty One TV. If you don't, we won't be around much longer. Because the Democrats, the guys that are supposedly looking out for the little guys, are killing us. They're killing us. That is the truth. Back to Diamond and Silk.
There's nothing wrong with that. As an African American, you're not going to make us feel guilty because we're going to get out here and we're going to take advantage of these platforms and monetize, like everybody else do. I don't see you walking up to a white person and saying, "Oh, you shouldn't be monetizing that." No. So why are you, as an African American, making it?
The gentleman's time is
expired. With us monetizing our platform.
I respect your game. I really
gentleman's
do.
time is expired.
It's not a game.
Of whether funds.
The gentleman's time has expired. I now recognize myself for 5 minutes.
Okay, I recognize your game. Again, condescension, you stupid conservatives. You've got, again, it's not that they don't want you, it's not just they don't want conservatives to be heard. And it's not just that they want conservative media to not be heard as much. They want to make it so that we cannot earn a living. That's the ultimate goal. They want us destroyed. That's not hyperbole. That's fact. Okay? Have you shared the video? This is an important one. It really is. Please share the video. Please put this on all your friends' pages. Let them know what the truth is out there. Okay, and here's another one. I'm going to play a little bit of James Comey's interview today with Brett Baier. And I'm going to play it because the Democrats love James Comey. They hated him, then they loved him, hated him, loved him. But boy, the media's giving this guy all kinds of attention. Oh, look at the way he's attacking Trump, and Trump looks stupid. No, the only one looking stupid is Comey. And you could say, well, Rusty, you're doing this because you're one-sided. See, I'm not. I'm straight down the middle, bleeding red, white, and blue every single day. And the only reason I seem like I'm far right is because the left has gone so dang far away. I can't even see them anymore. We can't even talk anymore. And I'm one of the most reasonable guys in the world. I pride myself on being reasonable. I've dealt with terrorists on multiple occasions and haven't been killed. I've helped broker deals between Harry Reid and Mitch McConnell. I've done that personally. And today I can't talk to old friends from high school. And it's because of the wedge being forced down our throats by Democrats who want nothing but power. And it's disgusting. Here's another Democrat, James Comey. Oh, he was a Republican. Don't give me that. Here's the whole thing. James Comey wanted to be the next Herbert Hoover. The guy that could not be fired. The guy that everybody in government was afraid of. He wanted to blackmail Trump into fear and fearing him. Oh, I got this dossier. I ain't know where this come from, but they say you're doing nasty things with hookers. And Trump went, you're fired. And instead of being classy, this guy decides he's going to get his pound of flesh. Because he wasn't able to blackmail this president like he was able to blackmail Obama and blackmail Bush before him. He wanted to be in there for life. That's what a guy like Comey wanted. Let's see here. Dale says, didn't you get busted over drugs, Rusty? The way you're talking, you must still be doing them, doper. Dale, I've never been drunk or high in my life. I don't have any idea what you're talking. Now, see, there's the lie. What Dale just tried to do was impugn my character. See, that's what the left does. They'll just make stuff up. well, didn't you do drugs? And then if I missed it, all of you, thousands of people who are watching it, tens of thousands who are going to see it, are going to, was Rusty, did he have a drug bust or something? No. I've never been drunk or high in my life. I've never been arrested. I've never had any of those things. So your lies are not going to go unanswered because you're another dumbass. Because you're a jackass, Democrat, a donkey. All right, so let's get into the, and it's those kind of lies like that ass just did is the same kind of thing James Comey. Well, gosh, I didn't know. I don't know who paid for the report. Really? Everybody else on the planet knows, but the former head of the FBI doesn't know. Maybe that tells you why you don't have the job. All right, here we go. Let's play a little bit of it from Fox News earlier tonight.
I've heard that, yeah.
Thanks for being here. The book is Hire, Loyalty, Truth, Lies, and Leadership. Big sales in its first week. I've read the book. I've seen or read every interview that you've done on this media tour. A lot of people have focused on President Trump and your interactions. I want to get to that, but I want to start chronologically with the Hillary Clinton email probe and the decisions you made there. Is it true that you and your FBI colleagues made the decision to exonerate Secretary Clinton well before she was interviewed?
No.
So why wait till the end, and why write up the memo that you eventually bring forward first?
No, that's a good question. Come May, after we've been doing it for about 10 months, I started to, as part of my regular briefing from the investigators, see that their view was it was unlikely to end in a case that the prosecutors at DOJ would bring.
Before the interview?
Sure, yeah, because they'd spent 10 months digging around, reading all her emails, putting everything together, interviewing everybody who set up her system. They weren't certain of that result, but they said, look, boss, on the current course and speed, it looks like it's not going to get to a place where the prosecutors will bring it. So then in May, I started thinking, okay, if it continues that way, and it may not, but if it continues that way, so how do we end this thing in a credible way?
But what, if anything, could she have said in that interview that would have changed your mind and somehow changed what you eventually decided to do?
Well, that I'd hire you, that you'll be
first
FBI
by lying
director.
in a way that we could prove in the interview, or giving us a hook to continue the investigation to see if we could prove a lie, or admitting something that would surprise us about her intent. Now, a lot of folks have asked, good question, about why to do the interview at the end. That's fairly typical for a subject interview in a white-collar investigation. I think you see Special Counsel Mueller taking exactly that approach with the president.
But you already knew that.
And by the way, Comey would know that because Special Counsel Mueller is his best friend and former boss. And don't tell me they haven't been talking and they didn't plan this whole thing out. That's why this thing stinks to high heaven. It just stinks. Here's a question. Okay, quick poll. Thumbs up if you think James Comey is a fool. If you think James Comey's a lying fool, give me the thumbs up. James Comey's a lying fool, thumbs up. If James Comey is not, and I'm wrong, you think I'm a big liar, give me the mean face. Do that now. I want to see him right now. Let's play more of this, but I want to know what you think. Keep those comments coming. Judy says, my heels gave me all this stuff. That's why I wear flip-flops today. Rick thinks it's a witch hunt. Gretchen thinks collusion. Yep. Andrea says he's a liar leaker. The reason why he didn't talk is because the money she gave you, says John. Thumbs ups. Foo. All right, let's see the thumbs ups on Facebook. Share the video. Have you shared it? If you haven't, this is one that needs to be shared. Let's get back to this dumbass here on the Rusty Humphries Rebellion.
That she had been telling, whatever you want to say, lies, myths, truths about this investigation and how she handled those emails. Take a listen.
Secretary Clinton said there was nothing marked classified on her emails either sent or received. Was that true?
That's not true.
Secretary Clinton said I did not email any classified material to anyone on my email. There is no classified material. Was that true?
Now, there was classified material emailed.
Secretary Clinton said all work-related emails were returned to the State Department. Was that true?
No, we found work-related emails, thousands, that were not returned.
So it went on. I mean, there were clearly a pattern there, and you had already made your decision.
No, I had not made my decision, but I could see what the investigators saw after 10 months. If you don't have a general sense of where you're headed after 10 months of that kind of work, you're not competent. they could see it was unlikely, although not certain, unlikely to get us to a place where they would prosecute it at the Justice Department. And the question was, would she lie to us? What people say in the public forum, in a debate, or in a political campaign is not our business. Our business is, are you going to lie to us? And if you are, and we can prove it, then we're going to prosecute you.
You go back to intent a lot, but actually the statute, as it's written, handling classified information, grossly negligent doesn't deal with intent.
Well, grossly negligent is an expression of a kind of intent. How were you acting? What was your mental state at the time?
You were careful to call it extremely careless, not grossly negligent.
Right. I was struggling with the fact that we thought it was not mere sloppiness, but didn't rise to the level of criminal misconduct that the Justice Department would prosecute. So how do you describe that? I probably should have said really sloppy, but I wanted to be honest and say it's above sloppy. It doesn't add up to what the 1917 statute meant when it said grossly negligent is a felony.
So why did you allow Cheryl Mills, Secretary Clinton's chief of staff, to sit in on that interview? She was potentially a subject or a target in the investigation. She was a government employee. She wasn't Clinton's attorney, but yet she sits in there and talks with her throughout the interview.
Yeah, my understanding was at that time she was one of Clinton's attorneys. She was no longer a subject in our investigation. The agents had scrubbed her conduct very carefully by that point, and she was no longer a subject. But that, again, that's a reasonable question. But the facts are, not a subject, one of Clinton's lawyers. She's entitled to be in an interview.
We asked people to tweet in or write in. We have one from J. Harper Wilson. I am a retired FBI agent serving almost 25 years, retiring in 1995 as a senior executive special agent. Please ask Thursday why a grand jury was not used in the Hillary Clinton investigation as would be normally, and why was it run out of HQ? Book did not address.
Yeah, the second one I'll take first. It was run out of HQ because it was a case of intense interest outside to the media, and so to keep it tight, it was worked in the counterintelligence division at headquarters. You can reasonably disagree with that if you're an FBI person. Could have put it in Washington field office, could have put it in New York, but the decision that counterintelligence made was it'll be kept tighter and leak-proof, which it was, in the counterintelligence division.
And no grand jury?
I'm not allowed to comment on the way in which the grand jury was used. I can say this, though. She was not interviewed in front of a grand jury, which is another judgment call that prosecutors and investigators make all the time.
You thought Attorney General Loretta Lynch was compromised, that you had to do something different because of that tarmac meeting with former President Clinton and because she had wanted to call it a matter, correct?
Yeah, and other things.
And other things in this classified thing that ends up leaking to the New York Times. But she denies this. She writes, if he had any concerns regarding the email investigation, classified or not, he had ample opportunities to raise them with me, both privately and in meetings. He never did. So someone's not telling the truth here. Is it the former Attorney General or you?
No, actually, I think we're both telling the truth. I never went to her and said, Loretta, I think you should recuse yourself. My problem was she had already announced it publicly that she wouldn't and that she would accept my recommendation. And so at that point, what do I do? And I decided at that point, I got to step away from her.
All right, fast forward. A lot of people are upset about how it comes out, how you take control. It actually leads to Rod Rosenstein. He cites this in what you did as a reason for recommending your firing. You go on, after that recommendation, you write a letter to Congress to announce the case is reopened because more classified emails have been found on Anthony Weiner's computer. You said it was, last night, a tough choice between concealing or coming forward, a really tough choice. But there are authorities in New York who are saying that FBI HQ was slow-walking that case, and weeks went by without any action. Did you know that Andrew McCabe, your deputy, had sat on that revelation about the emails?
Yeah, I don't know that. I don't know that to be the case. I do know that New York and FBI headquarters became aware that there may be some connection between Weiner's laptop and the Clinton investigation weeks before it was brought to me for decision. And as I write in the book, I don't know whether they could have moved faster and why the delay.
So was it the threat that the New York agents were going to leak, that it existed, really what drove you to the not conceal part?
I don't think so. I think actually what drove it was the prosecutors in New York who were working the criminal case against Weiner called down to headquarters and said, are we getting a search warrant or not for this? That caused, Justice Department headquarters to then call across the street to the FBI and poke the organization, and they started to move much more quickly. I don't know why there was, if there was slow activity, why it was slow for those first couple of weeks.
I want to move on to the Trump investigation. We're told after this Australian diplomat reports his conversation with George Papadopoulos, talking about plans to get Russia info or emails about Hillary Clinton, that the FBI is notified through the State Department about this in early May. True?
No.
When were they notified?
First of all, I'm not confirming what the source was from it, The FBI learned the information about Papadopoulos in late July and opened a counterintelligence investigation at that point. The meeting that you're talking about occurred in the spring,
April,
before there were any public revelation of Russian hacked emails, but the FBI didn't learn about it until late July.
Okay, so what is the crime or the collusion that launches the investigation?
Yeah, collusion's not a word that I'm familiar with. I've seen
what
it
is
in
the
media
crime? What is the evidence, basically, that launches?
The question is, you open a counterintelligence investigation to understand, are any Americans in cahoots with the foreign intelligence activities of an adversary nation?
And Hillary.
When the Steele dossier comes out, sometime early July, when did you personally learn about the memos in the dossier?
Sometime in the fall. I don't remember exactly when.
You're talking fall of...
Fall of 16.
Right. So who told you about them?
I don't remember. Someone on my senior staff.
Do you remember how they were described?
I remember they briefed me about it, explained that it came from a reliable source, former Allied intelligence officer. I remember being given a copy of it. I don't know whether it was September, October, sometime in that period of time.
When did you learn that the DNC and Hillary Clinton campaign had funded Christopher Steele's work?
Yeah, I still don't know that for a fact.
What do you
Share
mean?
this video.
I've only seen it in the media. I never knew exactly which Democrats had funded. I knew it was funded first by Republicans, opposed to Donald.
True.
That's not true.
I'm sorry?
Liar.
That's not true. That the dossier that Christopher Steele worked on was funded by Republicans?
My understanding was his work started funded by Oppo Research, funded by Republicans.
So Free Beacon and said that they had Glenn Simpson and Fusion GPS on a kind of a retainer, but they did not fund the Christopher Steele memo or the dossier. That was initiated by Democrats.
Okay, my understanding was the activity was begun, that Steele was hired to look into, was first funded by Republicans, then picked up, the important thing was picked up by Democrats opposed to Donald Trump.
So is that why...
Hold on a second. I think
President Obama that the dossier...
Here's what he's meant. That's not right. What really he's talking about is a different case. It was Hillary Clinton started the investigation on Barack Obama's birth certificate. That was initially funded by Democrats, and Republicans got in on that. So, but it had nothing to do with Trump. It was Barack Obama and the birth certificate. See how convoluted all this stuff is? And what kind of liar James Comey is. All right, I'm going to play a couple more minutes, and then I got to head on down the road. But let's play a couple more minutes of this. Again, share the video, would you please? Thumbs up if you like what he has to say. Thumbs down, angry face. I want to see your reactions. Vote on James Comey and comment right now as you share this video, and let's watch some more.
It was ever who it was funded by?
No, not to my recollection.
Did you want to know who it was funded by?
I wanted to know what I knew, which is that it was funded by people politically opposed to Donald Trump.
Okay.
Which particular opponents wasn't that important
But when
to me.
did you, so you still to this day don't know that it was funded by the DNC or
I've read
the
that in the
Clinton
media, but I don't know for a fact, and didn't know while I was at the FBI, which exact opponent of the president's funded that.
Okay. How many times did you, and to what extent did you brief President Obama on the dossier?
I didn't ever brief President Obama on the dossier. I was present during a conversation where Director of National Intelligence briefed it to him, as we did to the Gang of Eight and to the President-elect the first week of January.
You called the dossier unverified, salacious. Why did you use that to the FISA court to ask for surveillance for Carter Page? Not only use it, but you led with it. A bulk of that FISA application deals with that dossier. Why?
Yeah, that's not my recollection, Brett. And I don't know that the FISA application has been released. My recollection was it was part of a broader mosaic of facts that were laid before the FISA judge to obtain a FISA warrant.
There was a lot more than the dossier in the FISA application?
My recollection was there was a significant amount of additional material about Page and why there was probable cause to believe he was an agent of a foreign power. And the dossier was part of that, but was not all of it or a critical part of it, to my recollection.
This intel briefing at Trump Tower, you briefed the president-elect on kind of the sliver of the dossier, really the salacious part about the prostitutes in Moscow and that allegation.
Correct.
Didn't include anything broader than that, right?
Correct. My mission in that private briefing was just to tell him about that slice of it.
And who suggested you brief that?
I think the Director of National Intelligence did, and explained the logic of why it made sense for me to do it, which I agreed with.
So that briefing was just oral. It was just talking to the
Correct,
president.
just the two of us talking to each other.
CNN reported at the time that you handed a 2-page executive summary of the dossier over to him.
I did not.
Did not. Speaking of CNN,
okay, I'm getting bored. Okay, you can watch the rest of it. I found it on foxnews.com, and you can find that there too. It's, do you think, let me just ask you right now, James Comey, do you believe him? Thumbs up. Don't believe him? Meaning face. What's your take on it right now? Very curious. Anne Marie says he's got bags under his eyes. Tracy is throwing up. Vicky thinks he's a liar. Judy says, how disgusting. The man has no memory of nothing. John says, I don't think he could run as dog catcher. All right, well, it's Thursday night. I got to go out and do some stuff. I'll be back on Monday. But I always check out your emails and your comments, so comment right here. I appreciate it. If you would share the video, I appreciate it. Also, if you'd follow me on the Hear Me Out app and on my podcast, The Rusty Humphries Rebellion, available at iTunes and Stitcher and Apple Podcasts and iHeartRadio. Just subscribe to it and comment there and tell your friends about it. It makes a difference. This is a show, today's show especially, is one that needs to be seen and heard. Hear Me Out app, follow me there, download it on your smartphone, and just follow me. It doesn't cost you anything. Just find me, Rusty Humphries, and you'll be thoroughly entertained on a daily basis with the Hear Me Out app. Go and subscribe to the nice folks at LibertyOneTV.com. It's a great website. Some good hosts on there, and they are going to continue the fight whether the left wants them to or not. So go subscribe if you would, LibertyOneTV.com. And if you are concerned about your data, and you should be, please go to virtualshield.com, virtualshield.com/Rusty, that's me, and find out what a virtual VPN can do for you. Your own private network. What can it do for you? What can a VPN do for you? Find out. Go to virtualshield.com and find out. Promo code Rusty, first 30 days free, and then 20% off after that. All right? That's it. Thank you so much. I do appreciate you. We'll see you next time. May God bless you, and may God bless America. My name is Rusty Humphries, and this is the Rusty Humphries Rebellion. Have a great weekend, my friend.